Hey, you guys, I want to talk with you for a minute about my voice. I just released the video for the song Electron, and I released a lyric video for my other song called Born in '69. And got a huge amount of eyeballs and earballs on it by way of Indie After Dark on YouTube. You probably saw me advertising about it, which was, it was exciting. I got a lot of people listening for the first time that I've never met before. They've never met me. They've never heard me before. And it was cool. It was really cool. Now, here's one thing that's kind of interesting is there's lots and lots of comments, both publicly on the videos, but also a lot of stuff I got in private. People are like, your voice is so good. You got such a good voice. You sing so well. You're such a good singer. And you know what? Thank you. I'm not gonna pretend I don't love hearing it, because I do love hearing it, because I am extremely conceited. I'll be like, oh, stop. But, inside I'm like, it's so good to hear it. But I want to tell you guys something about my life, my history. I started playing guitar when I was quite young. I was like 14 or 15 or something like that. And I always wanted to be a singer, but I didn't, because I would start to sing and people would be like, dude, you shouldn't. You really shouldn't. And I don't want to name anybody or call anybody out, but it's like some people who were like really close to me, people who you would think would be like, follow your dreams. But these people would say to me, dude, you should not sing. Do not sing. Stop singing. Play guitar. That's where you belong. Play the guitar. And it really hurt me. And the thing is, they were right. My voice was so bad. And it's not that I was lazy or or that I didn't care. It just wasn't there. And I remember, and this is a little personal to share, but it's important for me that I tell you this. I remember recording myself singing when I was 20 with my band that I was with at the time, and listening back and just feeling like tears welling up in my eyes, because I knew it was terrible. I knew my singing was terrible. And I knew it not just from people telling me that my voice was terrible, but from hearing it. I was listening to it. Now, there's a thing about me, my personality, which is that for better, for worse, often for worse, I just kind of do what I feel like doing anyway, which is not always like great for me. But it wasn't so much a matter of like, I'm going to wait till I'm qualified to sing and then I'm going to sing. I was just like, here I come, world. Like, you may hate my voice, but this is what's happening. And I just kept going. And what's interesting is when I got to be about 40, something like 41, 42, something like that, I was doing a lot of shows online, and I started doing a lot of shows online around that time. And I was singing like 4 or 5 times a week for like an hour a piece, and just going in and acting like I was supposed to be there. Right? Not like, oh, thank you so much for listening to this terrible voice of mine. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Please feel free to tell me how horrible I am. I just went in and sang like I belonged there. And something interesting happened. So over the course of 10 years, people started to say, your voice is really good. And then they started to say, like, your voice is amazing. And they started to say after that, you have a gift. You have and it was interesting for me. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I did not have a gift. I just kept doing it. And I'm not saying that my voice is like, I love hearing it. Don't get me wrong. I love when people are like, your voice is so good. I'm like, let me just write, could you sign this as sort of like a thing, just to, legally speaking, so I can say that this was actually said in my presence. But the truth is, I know my voice is not like that fantastic. It's good enough. But what I wanted to point out to you is the change. There was a time in my life when people would listen and say, you should absolutely stop. The best thing you could do is stop. Please don't. And it was all because I wasn't good at it yet. And then I got good at it, and then people started talking to me like I'd always been good at it, like I was born with it, like it just happened. And so as far as I'm concerned, that worked out really well for me. But I wanted to tell you this, and I wanted to tell you, because we all have dreams, we all have things we want to do, and we all have skills we want to develop, and we are shy, and we are self-conscious, and we're self-critical, especially if we are not automatically good at those things. And so I want to use my experience as an example, where I started off sounding unlistenable and got to a point where people were like, dude, you're pretty good. And I appreciate that so much. But the point is not that it's flattering for me, but it is proof that if you just do it, just jump in, forget about whether you're good at it or not, you become good at it. And you'll get to a point where people will be like, you were just born with it. Whatever that skill is, they'll just be like, you have a natural aptitude. And it reminds me of a thing that Michael Jordan, basketball player Michael Jordan said. He said, practice until people just think you're lucky.